the house. Listen, if you have subscribed to the channel, thank you. I appreciate you. I super duper appreciate you. If you have, hold on a minute. I super duper appreciate you if you have subscribed to the channel and remain. I don't get the whole unsubscribe thing, but we ain't here to talk about that. It is what it is. If you have not subscribed to the channel, can you do me a good solid? Stop right now. Yes. Stop what you're doing. Hop on over. And when I get through clowning, we can get into this topic, right? Listen, this topic is a little deep. I can make it deep. We're going to keep it light deep. We're going to keep it light deep. Listen, this is about tone and conversations and texting and words and all those things. All the things, right? How do you handle texting and phone conversations and emails and miscommunication and tones? So I was watching something on TV the other day, and I watched this young lady talk about, what was it? I'm going to tell you what it was. It was Married at First Sight. So if you watch the show, you know what I'm talking about. I think her name is Carla. I can't do this on roll. Her name is Carla, and I think she said something about her tone. It's something that she thinks she needs to work on. She needs to learn how to tone her tone down, because sometimes she comes off a little. And when she said that, I'm like, that's a good topic. It's a good topic because over the years, in my entire life, I've had this thing where people take me the wrong way, right? It disturbs my spirit, and here's why. I feel like deep in my gut, if you know me, you know me. And those who know me, they know me. There are some instances, very small instances, where it doesn't take a lot to get me to blow up. Meaning, I am a common sense person. I'm a very mindful person, and I don't like using certain words when I'm speaking on my channel, but I have to say this because it would best describe it. It wouldn't make sense if I said a lighter word. So something a little bit heavier, ignorant. When I'm dealing with things that are ignorant, they kind of ruffle my feathers. I don't like ignorance. So that's something that can kind of get me to pretty quickly, right? Then there's other times it takes a whole lot to ruffle my feathers. It takes a lot. It depends. But I feel like when you know me, you know me. I'm a very silly person in certain aspects when there's time and a reason to be silly. I'm also a very serious person. I'm very serious because I'm very methodical. I'm very diligent about how communication and conveying messages to people. So that part of me is real serious. I guess I'm kind of like a jack of all, a Janet of all trades of sorts. I don't know. But regardless of how many different personalities I have, how many different hats I can switch, all of those different things, when you know me, you know me. And so I listened to this young lady talk about how she knows sometimes she can come off a certain way when she don't mean to. I'm like, yeah, I've had that experience quite a few times in my life. It's bothersome to me because this is not so much about me. Because I think it's anybody. If it's a cousin, a mother, a daddy, who's got a stern voice and he always sounds serious and he about business. I think you know your dad enough to know when he mean business and when he just got his serious, that's his daddy voice, right? So to me, when you know me as a friend, as a sister friend is what I like to call my close friends, you have heard me talk about some situations in my life that have really teed me off. You've heard them. And you know how I respond, how I react, how I verbally come at situations that have aggravated me. You know when I'm talking to you as a sister friend, how I deal with you It's usually silly, usually fun, usually loving. We clowning. Um, so for a sister friend to take anything I say the wrong way, it disturbs my spirit because I feel like you know me, you know better. But if by chance you choose to take something I say or any type of communication the wrong way, I have to let you sit in that all by yourself. I always say I'm not a dog, I don't chase people. I'm not coming behind you to correct something I didn't incorrectly do. I'm not coming to make peace about something that I did not disturb the peace. I'm not the one that did anything wrong. I do believe in correcting my wrongs. As they say, make my wrongs right. But if I didn't wrong you, there's nothing that I need to do to make it right. So I listened to that young lady say that, and I'm like, that's interesting because I've been accused of saying something and somebody got upset or they took it the wrong way. And I'm like, first of all, as a sister friend, the only thing I would propose that you do is, like an adult, have a conversation with me. That's it. Because if there's a misunderstanding as an adult, as a mature adult, what else are you going to do? You could be petty, you could be silly, you could be immature and childish. I'm gonna let you sit in it by yourself because that's not how I rock and roll with people that I care about. I'm not having a disagreement with you that can't be ironed out. But if that's the space you're in, you will sit in that all by yourself. So she made me think about that because she was saying, well, something I know I need to work on is my tone. I need to, work on toning down my tone. And I was like, yeah, but I don't think that about myself. That was interesting because I'm thinking, I don't think I need to work on my tone because, again, if you know me, you know when I'm being serious. This is a two-part conversation. I'm going to make it still short, but it's two-part. And that's the biggest, that's part one. If you know me, you should know if I'm coming at you with some rah-rah. Which, if you my sister friend, I love my sister friends because they're like my family members. I don't rah-rah with them. So if that's something you took away in a conversation, you took it in a way that wasn't how I was trying to convey it. That's on you. That's first. And it's again, I'm going to say it disturbs my spirit because I've been talking to a lot of people for a lot of years. And I never take it that they coming at me sideways. There's been an instance or two, and I had to check it and say, hold on, that came off a little this kind of way. What's in that right there? In that moment, I'll question it, and I say, oh, girl, no, I meant it, and we good. But I'm not gonna let that simmer. I'm not gonna let that settle. I'm not gonna let that marinate in a friendship. I'm not gonna do that because no, it has to be ironed out because it's probably petty, and if it's in texting or a phone call or email, we all know how those could go left. So why are we sitting in a negative space for an immature reason? Because I'm gonna look at it as immaturity. I am. That's just me. So yeah. But the second part to that, we're gonna tie it all together and hop off this topic. The second part to that is, oh Lord, there's some people that's gonna hate to hear me say this. They probably never watch this video, the people I'm thinking about in my head. But I do not like it when people tell me that I yelled. First of all, this does not have anything to do with this topic we're going to talk about real quick. I like to type in caps. I will text in caps. When I do that, I'm emphasizing a word, right? So I may say something like, girl, I went to this concert and that concert was bomb. I'm going to put B-O-M-B in all caps. I'm not yelling at the person. I'm emphasizing it was good, right? That's just me. I love to type in caps, not all caps because that looks weird to see all words big. I may type 2 or 3 words in a row in all caps. I may be like, I went to the doctor and they had a nerve in all caps to tell me that I had, all caps, had to do something. I'm just giving some real off the top of my dome examples. I do not believe what the rest of the world says about typing in caps is yelling. I think it's the most ridiculous thing, and it's one of those things I think people jump on a bandwagon and run with it. I have my own mindset. I disagree with that. Typing, now, it could mean that, but can we broaden that to it could mean something else? Like me, I use it to emphasize a statement, a phrase, a word or two. Not to yell at a person. In fact, I'm just being real honest. If I want to yell at a person, let me come off a text. I need you to hear my voice. I won't yell at you. That comes from the throat, the back of the throat. Yelling at you means I need you to hear me screaming at you. I'm being silly, y'all, but I'm just saying yelling in text sounds weird to me. But anywho, that ain't what we're talking about. But we're talking about yelling in real life. I just said verbally if I'm yelling, so that's where we're going next. If someone accuses me of yelling, and I am not yelling, I have this thing I do, and a few people know about it. If we're talking and they go, why are you yelling? Or even last week, we were having a conversation last week and you were yelling at me. I'm like, no, at no point did I yell. You didn't hear me yell. And we're going back and forth and you keep insisting that I yelled. I hate to do this to you all. If you have some earplugs, if you got some AirPods, if you got anything to plug your ears, go on and plug your ears because I'm about to give y'all the business in the kindest way. When a person accuses me of yelling or screaming in any manner of being disrespectful to them with my voice, this is what I will do to tell them, to prove to them they're wrong, they're incorrect, and that in that moment, that conversation, I never yelled at them. This is a conversation where someone accuses me of yelling. And I'll keep saying, I was not yelling at you. Maybe my tone was a little stern, but I never yelled at you. You did yell at me. Then I will say, this would be me yelling. And that was low, right? I did not yell at you. This would be me screaming or yelling at you. And then I will say to them, you never once heard my voice elevate to that. And you never heard me go there, is what I do. I know I just looked and sounded crazy, but I'm trying to tell y'all the real, raw me. I've been on this channel for a few months. I talk about all the topics, and very little do I talk about me. Not because I'm secretive or I'm that private, but I always say, you know, when I get more subscribers, I'll tell more about myself. There's no sense in telling your whole life story to 2 people. Then you tell it again when you get to 100 subscribers, and you tell them the same story. So I'm thinking the more it grows, the more I'll tell. That's just the way my mind works. When you have broader audiences, you tell more so people can get to know you. So it's very profound to do that. I know you all just heard it. It's very profound to yell and scream like that, right? I know it sounds crazy, but that's what I've done multiple times. And I promise you, the impact is profound because they're like, even though they want to keep arguing with me, they have to stop and be like, yeah, well, yeah, no. Because that's me yelling. And in several arguments across the board in my life, I have yelled at people like that. At the absolute top of my lungs screaming. So, the point I'm making to a person that's telling me I'm yelling when they probably mean my tone was a little serious, maybe my tone was a little different, maybe I got rah-rah, maybe a little bit like this, like, hey, stop, maybe I got like that. That's not me yelling. Because what I'm telling them is, when I yell, it's very, very profound. When I yell, the neighbors can hear me. When I yell, so takeaway is, it's just that. Be mindful how we speak to people that you care about so your bonds and your connections and stuff remain intact. And if some people feel like they need to do other things because they have misunderstandings that they can't talk about or iron out, then my thing is always bye. What else can you do? Like me personally, not a dog. I don't chase people. I'm not going to chase people, not when I'm an adult. And if you know me, you know I'm a communicator, I'm a talker. You can talk to me, you can communicate. And if you choose not to, then I have to walk away with that, saying that's the space you choose to be in. That's just where I'm at with it. But that definitely, again, came from, if you know the TV show, Married at First Sight, Carla, she said she was going to be a little bit of troublemaker, but she calmed down real quick. But I remember her saying that about working on her tone. And it just made me think, that's a good topic. Laying in bed, that's a good topic. Tone and how you talk to people and say things and how things get misconstrued or whatnot. Are we mature and adult enough to talk about it, iron it out, work it out, or do we just walk away in funky spaces and never talk about it like 12-year-olds? It's weird to me. I'm not doing that for me. especially if I feel like I said something that got somebody weird. Yeah, I'm gonna have to iron it out. But if you're in the space of your own, again, I'm gonna have to let you sit in it by yourself. So my takeaway is to be mindful, be careful about how we say things to the people that we care about. If you are adult and mature enough and there is some type of issue, please iron it out, work it out. Some relationships aren't worth losing, and those that are gone, then maybe they weren't meant to be. Have to figure that out for yourself, that situation, that person, that relationship. But I don't know. I definitely say be you. I don't think people should change it because again, some people aren't meant to be. If you have sensitive friends and family members, and you're a very verbal person like myself, baby, you have to have alligator skin to deal with me. You really have to. But you do and you don't. You don't because I'm never gonna be, coming at you where you gotta be tough. But I speak the way I speak, so you kind of have to have it just because of that reason, not because I'm gonna be like throwing darts at you and you need to be able to take it. Not that, but I'm not very extremely sensitive person because one, if you ask me questions, I'm gonna be honest and give you honest answers, and if you don't like honest answers, then that's where you need to have tough alligator skin dealing with me. But I'm just never deliberately mean and cold and nasty and troublesome to the people I care about. Something else is going on in spaces like that. But listen, that's all I want to say on that topic. I have some more to go, so I'm hopping off that topic. I had to check what was going on outside, y'all. Listen, I appreciate you. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned. Keep watching. Subscribe, like, share the link. And I will see you all next time.